What's up, YouTubers? Today we're going to talk about the Jack Wolf knives, Gunslinger Jack, designed by Belkin of Jack Wolf Knives, maker of many modern traditional slip joint knives. He's entered into the locking realm for knives. This is a not full titanium. This is a titanium bolster lock, aka it basically has an integrated titanium frame lock with overlays, covers, scales, whatever you want to call it. This particular one is in the purple carbon fiber with the matching pocket clip there and the back spacer. Very nice. You're going to see that this knife took some wear, or not the knife, but I should say the clip did. I used it for a solid month. Very, very good. Again, back to the front flipper, works great. It also happens to have a fuller deployment on both sides, so you can backside, you can slow roll it. Works really well as a left-hander, and I'm kind of jumping into. It's pretty good though. I'm not the greatest left-handed. I am right-hand dominant, but the fuller is really good. It just has the right amount of grip to deal with it left-handed. You know, you're just talking about pocket clip at that point in time, but we're going to talk about some ways around that. So this particular knife has a 3.25-inch blade of S9DV super steel. Really, really good. It held up very excellent. I cut through essentially everything, never had to sharpen it, still just great. It weighs 2.9 ounces, super light for a 3.25-inch blade. And it prices at $350, so the price is up there a little bit, but with what you're getting, and we're going to talk about some of those things, I think it's not entirely unwarranted at all. So let's kind of look at some comparisons or alternative knives here. In the traditional front, I'm going to start with the, I guess you'd probably say the baby brother, and this is the Sharpshooter Jack from Jack Wolf Knives. Again, a slip joint, but it has that nice aggressive clip point there, and you can see the lines here. Obviously, this particular one just has the one fluting on that integrated bolster versus the three. And then I'm going to pull out another modern traditional, and this is the Lake Champlain from Sea Risner Cutlery. So you can kind of get an idea with this blade is right in between the two in terms of sizing. It's, you know, if you're looking for that kind of sizing, you want those traditional lines, probably some good alternatives. In terms of some locking blades that have bolster locks, this is the Pena X Series Barlow. You can see that that's definitely way smaller. But again, you're getting that top flipping. What you don't have is kind of fuller flipping, that sort of thing. But you do have that integrated bolster lock there. And then the last one really is, this is the Vero Knives Synapse. This one also is a bolster lock. The Pena X costs like $200, and we'll talk about the prices actually. You're talking in between basically $275, and then the kind of the highest end one is the $365 here for the this is the REC exclusive of the Synapse. It's a back regular side flipper, but it does have that nice little, we'll call that cutout there. So yeah, you know what? That's probably similar in terms of size. It's definitely a little bit more I won't say overbuilt, but a little bit more built, so to speak. You're going to notice that this one is definitely a lot wider here, the Synapse. So this one is dainty, but not weak. I'll definitely say that. It's the Jack Wolf really, really holds its own. Not a problem with that. So those are kind of going to be some of your price comparisons, as well as alternatives for some Chinese-made knives. Let's jump right into the strengths of this knife. This one is just crazy good action. The blade is fantastic. See if you can see that hollow grind. The hollow grind just slices through everything. Like I said, the heat treat, people that might want to bitch and moan about heat treats, no problems on this one. Really, it keeps going, and it's so thin, so really love it. The action is, like I said, ridiculous. You have many different deployment methods, so that's a really good thing. And then, like I said, the hollow grinding on that blade, just, yeah, fantastic. Multiple deployment methods, we kind of already talked about that. You can use it two-handed, very untraditional like that. If you want to kind of basically play the traditional game where you're actually just pinching it, you do have what kind of represents long pole pinches right there, which is good. Like I said, the top flipper is great. And one thing about this knife, if you do decide to carry it traditional and take off this pocket clip, which we're going to talk about that a little bit later, left-handed, a lot of times I need the help when I'm going to do backside. I need the help of the fingers holding the clip in order to do things like this. But this one is not. The action is so absolutely just tuned in that left-handed, it's fantastic. My first fantastic. So in any case, yeah, That's really, really good thing. You've got a nice full-length backspacer here. There's not only color integrated, but it just, it fits so flush, very good. Just as a look, it kind of keeps with that motif of the modern traditional. You don't see that a lot of times where you get full backspacers in there. So that's a really good thing. I think the Ecosphere alignment works really well with the Jack Wolves. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and pull out the reason I got with the Fat Carbon, the Purple Haze, is because my favorite Jack Wolf is in fact the Midnight Jack. And yeah, I know it's kind of a dorky thing, but knife pairing, yeah, I think it kind of exists for some people out there. And I'm usually carrying one traditional slip joint in a leather slip, like the comes with the Jack Wolves, and then one locking knife in my pocket. So in that sense, I think it really fits well in that Ecosphere, and to me, that's a strength on this one. The pocket clip works just fine. It actually was able to get over some thicker pants. It kind of gets a little bit tight in there up at the top side of there, but still worked fine. Like I said, you can see lots of beading on this one, and so it took a beating and kept on ticking. It's well made out of titanium, so it bounced back just fine. The CF overlay cutout is really good at preventing pinching. So you may not be able to see it right here. Let me go ahead and put it in the close. There you go. You can kind of see that a little bit more there. You're going to notice a little bit of gap there where the inside of the carbon fiber overlay has been trimmed out, and it's to prevent pinching of your thumb when you're putting it back. I have had others. I will say the Vero Engineering also learned that, so I don't know who came first or otherwise, but that it is appreciated, because I have other ones that are bolster locks, and when you go like that, it pinches the heck out of your skin, and that little spacing prevents you from doing that. So it's a nice little thought, and for me, appreciated. And the last thing I want to talk about, which kind of feeds into the carry of this as a modern traditional, is it comes with a plug. This nice little plug here, and which screws. It screws right into the back of where this pocket clip is. I did in fact take this thing apart. It's not exceptionally hard to take apart. There's a lot of screws and that sort of thing. You need T6, T8, T10 to complete the whole. Basically disassembly to get yourself back to this. But I just wanted to see how hard it was going to be. It wasn't. It takes a little bit of time. Just got to be patient. There is some thread locker in use there. I suggest using some blue thread locker instead of what, I don't know, it might have been the Devil's Red that they put on at factory, at least on the pivot. The other ones did not have any, but the pivot definitely did have some. So just got to watch out for that. And if you decide to carry it, and this is the last really major pro of this knife, is if you decide to carry it as a traditional, it won't necessarily fit in the Jack Wolf Knives one, whether you take the pocket clip off or not. It's just not going to do it. Those are made for your slip joints. But what it does fit in is it fits in nicely, even without taking that clip off. This is the C. Risner traditional pocket knives slip. It works great. Covers it just nice. And you gotta do the double shake to get it out, but it does work well. So if you want to carry this kind of as a traditional, not a problem there. So yeah, that's a again a really, really good thing, I think, for me. So you got tons of pros working for this knife. In terms of some of the cons, the jimping on the top is a little aggressive just for deployment. It's perfect for use. Maybe some people might say it's a little bit aggressive if you have sensitive fingers, but it's really good for use. But I will say is unfortunately, it just kind of, when you're trying to do, some of these fancier flips like that, it does just tear into the back of your finger. So it's just the slightest bit aggressive there. Not a huge deal. This isn't necessarily have the Brian Nadeau where you can just do that basically with ease. It's just a little bit more aggressive there. And then the last thing is what I call the two pokey spots. There's not much you can do about this. I have notified Ben, and it's, this won't be a surprise to anybody that uses it, but these little pokey spots right here where the carbon fiber has that sharp point, and where the bolster lock sets in, and then where the bolster basically was cut out there, those two I think could maybe, I don't know, the bolster lock I think could be chamfered down, where if you just imagine just basically cutting a little chamfer on there to bring that point down. But the carbon fiber overlay I wouldn't necessarily want, because it's really going to change your look. So, could I take that off and sand it? Could I have? Yeah, I could have, and just maybe dulled that a little bit. Is it a big deal? No. You end up just cutting, moving your finger around to where it's comfortable. You know, most often I was just moving forward on it, so I wasn't landing right on that little spot. So that's it. You know what? This knife has very few weaknesses. It's very strong. Overall, I'd say if you like Jack Wolf knives, you're going to absolutely love this knife. I do love this knife. It's really, really good. You know, as a locking platform, I think it was an excellent first choice. And for me, the one that I'd like to see next, not that you care, I'm just some idiot on the internet, but for me, the Venom Jack would be excellent because I love this Wharncliffe blade. It's got lots of exposure points there, so you could have front side fuller, back side fuller, and again, kind of looking at the mechanisms and how they translate, as I think you, again, could do a top flipper. So for me, that's my second favorite Jack Wolf knife, next to the Midnight Jack. So hope this was of use. If not interesting, I appreciate the like and subscribe. Have a great day.